But we have got another ZvP on our hands, like.
Oh, yes, we do.
And spawning in the bottom right position, in the bottom correcto position, if you speak Spanish fluently like me, it is the Polish Protoss. He is a multi-time winner of the Sparkling Tuna Cup, the pink Protoss for Genesis Gaming. Give it up for your boy, ArT.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Blackburn LE, we have our Australian Zerg player representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Oreo. Oh boy. Okay, so hopefully our boy is warmed up, because you said it earlier, ArT is the #1 seed of today's tournament. He is a Sparkling Tuna Cup champion, and you know what? He's not a bad player.
Yeah, no, not a bad player at all. That's a bit of an understatement. As we see. I'm gonna go first scout, gives Oreo the natural, lulls him into a false sense of security before he goes bam right onto that mineral patch. How Oreo respond? Oh, he's gonna pull a drone, then he's gonna put the drone back, and then the probe's gonna jump in the middle patch, then gonna jump in the middle patch, then Orio's gonna pull a drone, and it looks like the probe's gonna get pushed away.
Oh, just barely, mate. But you know what? The probe wants a little bit more, as he once again goes for the probe with the moonlight, but no! Oreo is there to stop him. Mate, look at him go.
I love the shield. He takes him off the probe, even though he's battered and bruised. He is knocked down. The spirit is willing, and they're willing to be annoying. And the Oreo, it looks like he's gonna pull a drone, get some hull damage on the probe. The probe's gonna back away, steady itself. It's gonna wait for some shields possibly to come back. The drones, they know that they've got a lurking cheater coming around. The zebra drones, and it looks like he's gonna come back in again. Light.
Just call the probe a lurking cheetah.
Yeah, the drones are zebra. Wait, the cheetahs? Yeah, they live together, right? Cheetahs and zebras, or zebras.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that Netflix documentary too. Yeah.
And see the see the 5 minerals in the probe's mouth. That's one of the baby zebras that the herd couldn't keep safe. So,
do you say zebra or do you say zebra?
I don't know. I say both. The zebra is now being stalked by I don't know, what are these? Hyenas?
Sure.
Yeah.
As we are here on Blackburn, also known as the Great Savannah in Africa.
The hyena's trying to scavenge the baby drone, but it looks like the cheetah's gonna take it back to the den or the burrow, whatever cheetahs live, I don't know, in a tree or something. And just returns it to the hive. But yeah, pretty standard so far.
it's what you would expect in ZvP, you know, the standard cheetah hyena dynamic, you know.
Exactly, and keep your eyes peeled, like, because we have got an eagle.
What are you on about? Eagles aren't in Africa.
Oh, what is that bird of prey in Africa?
A vulture? Falcon? I don't know.
Vulture? But vultures, they steal something. Well, I guess this overlord's already dead, so yeah, it looks yeah. ESL if you're hiring. I mean, but later, Oracle follow up.
Oh god.
Somewhere I flex my knowledge here. Eh? So this Phoenix, this vulture, it's gonna pick out, you know, it says it's scouting, looking for more overlords. This map, it's very horizontal, right? So it's hard to get a scouting really for Zerg. Meanwhile, he's gonna get an Oracle behind it, probably try and catch Oreo off guard. But Oreo being diligent with this link, probably not gonna see the Oracle, but right idea.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that I'm pretty sure Oreo saw the Oracle building with his Overlord as it died, as it did die over the Stargate, so Oreo does already have a Spore in his natural base, does have 2 Queens here in the main, so Oreo should be ready for this. What's important though is that ArT is mixing things up. He did go for a Phoenix Oracle back into Phoenixes.
Yeah, and actually we said this Phoenix can work in tandem, lifts up the Queen, and there is a Spore Crawler, however, smart by Oreo there, but actually ArT might lose the Oracle, and it goes down, and the Phoenix is gonna be like, yeah, no, I'm gonna leave here, but Meanwhile, as he step here, he's just banking Phoenix's art at home and light. Are we going to see some mass Phoenix Roddy action out of our Polish Protoss player?
Mate, that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here, mate. And this is what I was talking about when it comes to ZvP. This, going Mass Phoenix like this, has kind of risen in popularity. I say Mass Phoenix, you only get enough Phoenixes like around 5 or 6, and then you transition into ground. But with all these Phoenixes, you take out all the Overlords. Not just that, but you can CC the Queens, and you can go to town in these mineral lines, mate.
You're actually so smart. Like you said, 5 or 6 Phoenixes. And he starts a 5th Phoenix and then drops a Twilight and a Forge, indicating ground play. You're a genius, huh? But yeah, and keep in mind that earlier Phoenix cleared out a lot of Overlords, possible scouting, and this Phoenix is going to probably catch Oreo off guard. How many Queens does he have? He's got 6, which is a good number, but light, they're isolated.
Yeah, exactly. The Phoenixes, they see 2 Queens. They don't even have enough energy for Transfuse. We were talking about this in the previous series, and just like that, the first Queen is going to go down. Aye, aye, aye.
The second Queen as well, and does Oreo even want to try and push us up? The 3rd Queen approaching. We could get picked off too, but there's no Spore in the main Oreo. We saw her Starduck skipped it, and now a couple more Queens should possibly be able to force these Phoenix away, but light, they're mobile little buggies, aren't they?
Oh, they are very mobile, as Vultures typically are, as so far none of them have gone down, despite, the target fire on the Spore. Oreo gets one of them. Damn.
It does indeed, and the Spore does finish. Now these Overlords are going to be a bit careful, and this is the thing, like ArT's already in the middle of transitioning, but Oreo, he does not still cute counter-attack it, but there's no Mortal locking up, and Light, I don't think the shield batteries here and the superchargers are going to get much done, but cute idea, I like it.
Yeah, I appreciate the counterattack. It almost could have worked if it was a little bit sooner. Unfortunately, the Immortal does rock up. It will be able to force all of this back. What's important as well is that ArT was able to scout the Spire in the natural base as well, as Oreo did want to seem to go into mutas. That was, of course, before the Phoenixes were revealed.
Indeed, and it looks like we've charged on the way as well. These Phoenix are just going to kind of dominate the sky and kind of dictate how Orio's going to approach this game, but it looks like he's going to be opting for Corruptors, Light. And how do you feel about this? Because I'm not sure if these Corruptors will be very helpful when dealing with this ground charge lot follow-up.
Yeah, Orio's in a really tough place, right? Like, he just doesn't really have any anti-air with his army, you know? So I don't blame him for going into Corruptors. It's just a shame because, like, what's it really for? For 4 Phoenixes, you know? The Phoenixes have already paid for themselves, and they're going to pay for themselves even more by forcing Corruptors out of his opponent.
Here's the plan, like, there's 4 Corruptors and there's 4 bases. If you P on one base each, they all die at the same time. It's like, you know, at the start of at the start of the game, when like instead of going 13 Overlord, you go 14 Overlord, because then you get to make 3 drones at once instead of 2. So it's like a macro god. It's like that, but yeah, with these Phoenixes kind of ruling the skies, Oreo, I feel like he's got such a good kind of opportunity here before Storm, but there's gonna be a drop in the main. It looks kind of painful.
Like, I 100% agree. Like, there's a lot of potential here with this army, but unfortunately, we do have a War Prism into the main base. Oreo has to respond here. So far, he doesn't. There we go. He does respond with his army, and at least because he has the Corruptors, he will be able to chase down this War Prism.
Yeah, actually, these Corruptors gonna take out the War Prism unless Oreo being very diligent. But this is just buying time as we see Storm about to finish. Dark Shrine also halfway done, shield batteries, and a 4th base as well. And now we got a Zealot Robot to the top too. Quite smart play by ArT, but these Phoenix just gonna run circles around the Corruptors. Are even gonna try and skirmish? No, but looks like Orio's gonna be hitting Light, but will this work?
Yeah, that's the thing, you know, the longer this goes on, the better it is for ArT. We were talking about a timing that Oreo could have hit earlier, and he needs to hit it. As you said, Storm is already done. Storm isn't the best spell against Mass Roach, so, you know, maybe, like, these Immortals are looking a little bit naked, not gonna lie.
Yeah, they do be looking kind of naked as we see. Orio's kind of got a very large army here. He's even put off a bunch of roaches to north deal with these zealots. Taking out the War Prism, he can afford to kind of fly around, be a bit more prevalent on the map. Getting a Phoenix even. And Light, does ArT want to be moving out here?
Oh my god, he does not, but I feel like Oreo does. Like, you said it before, Oreo's maxed out. Like, he is maxed out, 200 supply. He has to do something with his army. He cannot be stuck with Mass Roach Ravager, because again, like, it doesn't scale into the late game, as we pointed out before. Like, he's got to do something here.
Yeah, ArT's army is kind of small, but it's hard hitting. You got your Archons, you got High Templar, Immortals. Even just looking at the gas count, even though like Oreo's almost got double the army supply of ArT, the gas count's the same. As it looks like Oreo's gonna be pushing in, and with those powers, like, this could be the moment he needs.
Oh,
to take
he's
this
gonna
game.
keep going, puppy, keep going. He filed down one of the High Templar. There's only 3 High Templar remaining, but the immortal count is getting higher and higher. The thing is, like, Oreo made this army isn't gonna get any better. He's trying to reinforce with Lings, and again, he's trying to like trade as best he can, but he's giving ArT so much time.
Yeah, he's really respecting this army, and I guess not sure, if he can commit to it. And ArT, meanwhile, he's not respecting his army at all, man. He's moving across the map, and meanwhile, Zealot's going across the top, and Roach is going to actually move in too, but we got a War Prison in the main, and light that's actually going on everywhere here.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like we're gonna see another second death here for the poor prison. Oh, the corruptors. Okay, there we go. He does turn around at the same time. Zealot run back towards the goal base. No, the army of Oreo has to respond here. He's being pulled apart.
Yeah, he is indeed. And meanwhile, I don't mind this by ArT. Zealot's only costs minerals. He's not sinking any gas in his investments apart from the odd DT or two. But yeah, this is the losses that ArT can afford to do. And if you have a look, he's got carrier production started. He's going to be chrono boosting those bad boys out. Oreo, he needs to hit soon.
Mate, we've been saying that for the past 3 minutes. Oh my god, I'm feeling so anxious right now. Like the Protoss can't get away with this. Like, he's going straight to carriers. What an animal! And it's gonna work. It looks like Oreo has been waiting for Banelings of all things. Baneling speed is done. It looks like Oreo may be able to hit before the carriers come out. Like, even if when they do come out, they're kind of slowed, so it's gonna take a while for them to respond. And thankfully, Oreo does have a Spire, so once they do reveal themselves, Oreo can transition into Corruptors.
Yeah, actually, lad, I really like the addition of Banelings here. They got speed, and ArT needs to be careful. Some Banes going to top of High Temple, just bruising them. But that's a large Zerg army finally collapsing on the Protoss here.
Yeah, it really is. We still have a couple more storms remaining. The storms are connecting with the Lings. The carriers reveal themselves. We need Corruptors, puppy. But Oreo right now doesn't care. He's getting on top of the army, and he will be able to clean up that ground army. But again, this could have this could have happened so long ago.
Yeah, you're going to clean up a lot of the ground here. Actually, I feel like this is not the worst case scenario for Oreo. He doesn't have that much of a bank, but he's just spent his money on 15 Corruptors, and as this DT, a couple of DTs sneakily running around, I think Oreo, he could deal with these carriers. These High Templar don't have a lot of energy.
True. There's no Archons as well. That's probably the most important part. So there's very little anti-air here. The Corruptors are on the way. They may have been spotted by the Zealot run by the DTs even. But mate, Oreo, he's gonna go. He has to hunt down the carriers. Go, puppy, go! No! Turn around!
The Phoenix, the Vultures trying to hold down. Carriers actually getting recalled. I don't like this at all. One gets taken out, one gets damaged to half health, and I feel like if Oreo just makes a ton of Banelings and runs into the third base, actually he can just pee on the Stargates if he wants.
He's looking for the carriers. He's trying to find them. The carriers were recalled to the third base, not the main. Oreo, he wants to find them. Oh,
I don't like this move. These Lings are just going to get stormed to death, and Roaches, even though there's a good number left, there's still 2 Immortals in the mix, and with the Super Battery and now the Mothership popping, I feel like Oreo's going to dominate the skies, but he's lost his ground advantage.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what's important? ArT, he's harassing across map with more DTs. He is switching into ground toss, mate. He doesn't care about the skies anymore, and now these Corruptors are going to be dead supply.
Yeah, they will indeed, but their last hurrah, they're going to try and pee on these bases, which is quite useful, but as you said, 15 drills gone down. Oreo is down so much in terms of not only, the worker count, and his army, it is a little bit higher in supply, but he's just making Roaches again, and Roaches at the 14-minute mark. It's painful.
It is, and it looks like these TTs are gonna get a kill on this top left-hand hatchery. ArT just has so many bases, his economy's better. He did just lose the Nexus, so I mean, Oreo did at least deal some damage with these Corruptors, but he needed to deal even more, and Oreo is, in a way, forcing himself all in by not droning.
Yeah, no, it would have been perfect for Oreo if he could somehow transition into a Broodlord. There's a Broodlord follow-up here, using those Corruptors, utilising them, but as we see more DTs coming into the gold base, and Oreo, he's just getting pulled apart, and he shouldn't be with this just really mobile, like, Ling Roach army on creep, but it looks like he's a little bit flustered, and he's just having a bit of trouble holding on as these DTs. One's gonna blink away.
We need detection mapping. No! The all army hotkey, the detection turns around. The DT will manage to escape and dip back in later on to deal even more damage. ArT, he's moving out across the map. And this time, his ground army is actually terrifying. He has Immortals, he has Storm, he has Archons, he has everything he needs. And I feel like he can definitely take a fight against what Oreo has.
Yeah, for sure. As we see, it's such a strong position. It's got a couple of force fields too he can utilize, and with those storms too. But as he moves on the creep here, like he could be in a little bit of trouble if he doesn't micro correctly.
Yeah, he has one storm left. There we go. That is the final storm here for ArT. Now he has to just rely on his army movement. Oreo, he may be able to collapse on this army. A couple of piles are connecting with the Immortals, but there are still so many Immortals left.
Yeah, they are indeed. These roach frontlers are going to get shredded. The Corruptor's finally coming to take out the War Prism, but Oreo's entire line is taken out. GG, ArT takes game number 1.
GG, well played. That was so close. We saw how well Oreo was performing there in the early game and even into the mid game. I'm looking at the graphs. Look at the army graph. God. There was a big window there, but Oreo missed it. And I guess that's where we have to give props to ArT, because he was doing a great job at harassing Oreo. You know, Zealot run by towards the north, War Prism constantly towards the south, just doing whatever he could to keep Oreo busy.
Yeah, he really did help kind of keep the Zerg player occupied as he kind of put together the core of his army and just kind of, threw away Zealots while he was slowly building up. And the DTs was another nice touch too, because that required even more resources from Zerg to kind of deal with it. Oreo, he's kind of skipped a bit on the detection, which made it a bit harder on himself. The Corruptors were wonderful against the War Prism, but in the end, he just he almost broke him with that fight. He dominated the skies, just couldn't get the ground, and yeah, ArT he stabilizes and goes back into ground and wins the game.
Yeah, very solid play there by ArT. And Oreo, it's gonna be a hard road coming back here, because game 1 was on US West, game 2 is gonna be on Central, so Oreo will be at a bit of a ping disadvantage here compared to ArT in game 2.
Yeah, he's not the only one. I gotta get rid of the server firewall. Central. There we go. Deleted the row. But looks like we're gonna be going to Pride at Altaris 2 Light, and I feel like this is one of the better maps for Protoss as well.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple of there's a couple of things about this map, right? Of course, there's the gold base. And I wonder if Oreo is gonna take it. I know that typically he doesn't like this map because he doesn't like it when the gold is used against him. But hopefully he's not too stale to avoid going for it, right? Like, mate, it's there. Why not try and use it?
Yeah, and sometimes when you're not comfortable on a map, like one of the best things you could do is kind of flip the switch and make your opponent not too comfortable as well. And that could be taking the gold. It could even be like proxy hatching and taking your opponent's gold. Just anything to kind of move them out of that comfort zone. As we know, ArT's a very solid kind of macro orientated player from what we've seen. And Oreo, I want to say, even though he's also a very good player, I'd probably say he have the disadvantage in the series. But we'll have to see how he approaches this matchup and the series in general, because ArT's looking, even though ArT's looking very strong, Oreo did have a timing that last game. But anyway, I digress. Spawning in the top left position with the GLKHF. It is the Polish Protoss players up one map, playing for Genesis Gaming. Can he go up 2 maps and take the series? It's ArT.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Pride of Altaris LE, we have the Australian Zerg player representing the Cranky Ducklings. Down in the series, but he's not out. Not yet. Not going for a 12 full. It is Oreo. Oh boy.
See you late. The graceful. Oh no, we looked elsewhere. Hold on, go back to Pro. The graceful. I don't know, what is
cheetah.
it?
You called it a cheetah. Oh look, there's actually like birds in the air as well.
There's actually, I saw shout out to Steelmold and Kuro. There's actually eagles in South Africa, Light.
Oh.
You've been Funarid.
Are there?
the crowned eagle and the martial eagle.
Oh yeah, because that's what you were thinking.
Yeah, I knew it obviously. Just didn't want to embarrass you, mate.
Oh god, the truth is out, mate. Eagles are loose in Africa. Something has to be done.
You see the cheetahs kind of just prowling around. There's strength in numbers, right? So as long as the drones kind of keep the young drones in the middle of the pack, and they use the old veterans on the outside, which as you saw that veteran drone take a stab at that cheetah. But yeah, I think yeah. Oh my god, it's a gold base!
I'm sorry to interrupt you and your amazing casting of the cheetah roaming between the drones, but mate, ArT, he is the Chad. He is going for the gold, and this is what I'm talking about, mate. There's a gold on the map. Use it.
Use it indeed. And we're talking about how Oreo can make his opponent uncomfortable. I think ArT can make his opponent even more uncomfortable with this gold base, and Oreo, he's gonna see no base here and think, oh my god, what is going on? It's not even a low ground wall. How's he gonna respond?
Yeah, we shall see, and we'll see what ArT decides to do here, because again, he's gonna have a massive influx of of minerals, so he can go for like mass charge. He is prioritizing the robo though, so very interesting, not the Twilight Council.
Yeah, this reminds me of Zest in the GSL Super Final and stuff. Yeah, as we see, this probe's gonna get in. Yeah. I feel so, since I've been casting with you, lad, I actually remember some games I used to never, but I think Zest, when he did this build, he kind of walked the Immortal back to his main and got surrounded by Lings, and then
he lost. Oh no, yeah, that was the great. He lost like 2 Immortals for free and still won. Everyone, god damn.
I remember. I did not bet on that game, so that's how I remember. But yeah, Oreo confirms the gold base is taken, and mate, what's he gonna do? He got a Bane bust quite early. He's making Lings.
Yeah, I kind of like this. Like, as a response, the Baneliness was already on the way. It's about to finish up by the time the Lings get across the map. What do we have to defend? Again, it's all about the SimCity here for ArT. He has to make sure he reduces as much surface area as possible.
He does indeed, and really I'm not liking, I guess how this looks. I don't know if that Adept, if Bane splashed on it, if it will hit the shield battery, but either way, we got the Immortal spawning now, like, here we go!
Here we go! The Bailey's gonna have to trust through that Adept, and it looks like they will. They get the shield battery! They get a full surround!
This is all part of the plan, don't worry. That's what Zest did, but I think, yeah, they can't even recall these probes, but I think it's on cooldown from prior. And this is just kind of I want to say it's a build order counter, but it's just, it's just tragedy. Meanwhile, a fake Oracle in the main is going to see this as nothing but light.
Yeah, I mean, oh my god, G gets called and Oreo fights back. He takes game 2.
1G and light. This is why I don't take gold bases. It can work, but it can be abusable. But we see,
yeah,
he didn't scout. He just kind of
just did his own thing. It's it's one of those things where just because Zest does something in GSL doesn't make it good. Especially because like he was the one who did it first, and like after everyone sees it. And if you remember, Oreo was watching that game as well. Then once you see it, you know more or less how you would respond in that scenario, right? You always feel bad for the Zerg players. I know Solar says this a lot. He hates playing against Zest because he's always like the first to like die to something new, and then everyone gets to see it and everyone can respond better to it. It's like
Exactly, yeah. I feel for Solar, but I think I don't know if it's just if maybe he positioned his buildings a little bit more so that the shield battery didn't get the splash, but I think just that was such a one-sided affair at that base. I don't think it even mattered that if the shield battery was still standing, because the Lings were DPS down, just Immortal to shoot them. But kind of a hard counter there by Oreo, and he'll probably be feeling pretty good as we go into game number 3 on Hardwire here.
Yeah. I do think that it was just a really great decision there from Oreo, because as soon as he saw there was no base, there was no nexus at the natural, he threw down the baiting nest. He's like, he knew exactly what he wanted to do. He didn't waste any time droning. He was just making nothing but lings, and he was just going to execute that all in, regardless of what he found there, whether there was a Twilight Council or a Robo or whatever. So again, just a very decisive move there by Oreo. No kind of pondering around in the middle of the map trying to like second guess himself. Nah, mate, he just executed it, and boom, we have an ace match.
That we do indeed, and Light, I'm getting hyped because we have got spawning in the bottom left position. He is the madman who takes gold bases, the Polish Protoss for Genesis Gaming. Give it up for ArT.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Hardwire LE, we have the Australian Zerg player representing the Cranky Ducklings. It is Oreo.
Duck. Light.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I see?
Do you see a gateway?
I see a gateway. You know what that means?
What does that mean? That means he has production.
You watched the GSL last night as well, because I saw this in GSL.
Uh-huh.
But, I don't think there's a ZvP at all. But yeah, this probe, he's gonna be vibing. You're gonna check out the natural, then check out the main.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty standard so far, Oreo. Looks like he's gonna be going for a 17 pull instead of an 18 pull here. Slight variation. I guess just for faster link speed, do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. The other important thing to take note of is that Oreo did get a faster hatchery up and running, so he was able to actually get it on location, so he doesn't have to play around with, getting his unnatural natural or anything crazy like that. So yeah, I'm also excited because, fun fact, I was talking to Oreo before the series, and he was like, "Oh my god, mate, Central is just gonna be an auto lose for me." Like, like he was so depressed. He was like, why do I have to play against ArT? But he took the game on Central, so suddenly it's like, oh my god, like this series could go either way, despite the fact that ArT was #1 seed.
Yeah, for sure, and that's a bit of a gamble on ArT's Accord there, because you'd think on his homegrown server he'd favour more of a macro game, but throws out something that's a little more volatile, a little more risky, and he gets punished for it. It's unexpected there. Oreo going to probably get a little bit of a boon there as he goes into West here. As we see a Stargate from ArT, Oreo should scout that pretty soon.
Yeah, the Overlord is just kind of patrolling back and forth, waiting for his moment to pounce on the unexpected Nexus. And we'll see when that happens here, as the Overlord just dips in towards the low ground just to confirm that, of course, Warp Gate is on the way and all that stuff. And yeah, we're just getting into a more normal game. Do you think we're going to see the Phoenix style again from ArT, the same as on Blackburn?
Like, whatever happens, I'll be super excited, but yeah, you gotta keep in mind, like, if it's not broke, why fix it, right? It worked in the first game, despite Oreo kind of having a bit of an advantage there, but maybe just something about playstyles. I don't know if Oreo's played ArT very often. They are, it's Europe versus Australia. So I'd like to think if the same situation as game one occurs, Oreo will be able to capitalize, but you never know with these players.
Yeah, this is like kind of the evil genius grand plan of Live VIP and the Cranky Ducklings, is that I'm forcing these players to be exposed to each other, like because you're right, outside of a tournament like this, they wouldn't play against each other. Oreo and a lot of the Southeast Asian and Oceanic players, they kind of restrict themselves to certain online events, and a player like ArT doesn't necessarily play too much on the NA server, on the NA ladder, or even the Korean ladder. So yeah, I can't imagine they're too familiar with each other unless they specifically watch each other. So this is, new experiences for everyone.
Yeah, and speaking of new experiences, like, we've got kind of a new kind of opening here. We've got a couple gateways and a Twilight Council going down for ArT, pretty safe. And looks like he's going to be expanding to a third base, Oracle follow-up. So no Phoenix, but the Void Ray going to play a similar role to the Phoenix in the first game. It's going to clear the scouting, be a bit of a defensive tool, and just kind of, I guess, like shield like Oreo from knowing what the next step's going to be, which in this case, it's that Twilight Council.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it kind of protects the tech, but it also rules out a couple of things. You know, Oreo, because he scouted that first Void Ray, he knows that it's not going to be like that 5 Phoenix style that happened in the previous game. So he can be a little bit greedier. You know, he doesn't have to rush out as many spores. He can keep them at a relatively low count and drone up as much as possible. But what is scary is that we do have Glaive Adepts on the way. Quickly checking the vision, did Oreo scout? No, he didn't scout the researching Cybercore, which also could be a little bit of like a mind game as well, making it seem as if it's double Stargate.
Yeah, for sure. This is kind of interesting because if Oreo, you know, being the very diligent player he is, he'll be definitely kind of check out that Cybercore and checks the wall here. And great little mind game for like, as we see, Update confirms he sees the warp gates finish and the great. What's his response gonna be? He drops the gas. The layer is on the way already, but it looks like he's just gonna mac her up. And Light, do you think we're going to see a bit of a decisive timing here from ArT to capitalize on this misinformation? Oh my god! Oh my god! I think.
I think so, Chase. I think so. As the Adepts are rushing across the map, and we have nothing here at home to defend. Looking at the unit tab, we have 2 Lings. 2 Lings is the army of Oreo. That's all he has.
These queens, Oreo's gonna feel bad. If he can maybe wall off with the Evo, but no, the Adepts are gonna get in and Light. I think we're just gonna see a one-sided massacre here at the moment.
That's it. GG gets called. The mind game pays off. Oreo had no idea that Adepts were about to rock up, and that's just game.
That is game, and that's just the volatile nature of StarCraft, right? One small little bit of information, not able to confirm, not keeping a Ling just outside just in case. Voider obviously played a part in that too, and ArT just literally takes their game. He barely killed anything with that push. Yeah.
Yeah, God, feels bad, man. We saw it coming a mile away just because, again, Oreo was being mind gamed. He thought that he could get away with just queens to defend. He's like, oh, okay, I see +1 air attack. It's probably going to be Void Rays rocking up. Spores and queens are all I need. He was even rushing into a Spire to go into Corruptors because, again, he thought it was going to be Sky Toss. Little did he know that Adepts were on the way, and he was as unprepared as anyone could be. It was... Again, 2 Lings. 2 Lings! That's all he had.
His Lings had a monumental task. But you can never say never. Maybe, but if he commanded them for 7 minutes straight, the Lings could maybe do something. But yeah, Oreo's brood returns to the soil. Until next time, at least he'll foster his own new brood. Hopefully, see him in Sparkling Tuna. It's always nice to see players